All right, everyone, welcome back. Now, welcome back if you've seen my previous video. I've only done one video previously kicking off this little series, and this is Letterboxd Picks What I Watched Next. All right, previously I introduced the series, and I watched the movie from there. That was about a month ago. I actually expected to be quicker turnaround, but that's the thing with the series. It's not super like every week or every month. It's just whenever. And it'll be fun to play casual like that. But if you aren't aware, this how this series works is I go on Letterboxd right on here, and essentially I will be going to the most recent movie I reviewed, which in this case will be Rustin. I'll go there and then I'll pick whatever user has the most recent review on there, whether it's good or bad. Go on their profile. And their profile will determine the next movie I watch. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Unless there's like two movies on there that don't work. Pretty much the user that's randomly chosen will decide what I watch. And then how that'll work is I will go to their 4 favorites. And then from their 4 favorites, I'll go through in order. The first one, if it's eligible, will be the one I watch. But if it doesn't meet a couple criteria, I'll move on to the next one. Those criteria are, of course, first of all, it has to be a movie I haven't seen before. Exceptions to that might be movies I've seen only when I was very young and might not have too much of a strong memory of. I might consider those unseen movies for the sake of this. So first of all, it has to be a movie I haven't seen. Second of all, it has to be $5 or less to watch it online legally. So whether it's available on a streaming service or if I have to rent it, $5 is the max. If it's $6, it's out. Because I don't want to be breaking the bank on these random movies that I'm watching here. But the other condition is that it can't be a sequel unless I've specifically only seen the one before it. An example being, I've only seen Mission Impossible 1. So if Mission Impossible 5 was the movie in question, it's not eligible. And it's not going to default to Mission Impossible 2 because it specifically want it to be the user curating it. So they might not like that other installment in the franchise. So that's it. So before I go into my pick, though, I'm going to talk about the movie that was assigned to me randomly last time. And that was this movie right here, Shutter Island. I won't click into the review. I can't remember if I go into spoilers. This is a very short review. I'm not going super in depth, but I want to leave it out just in case, because if you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend it. I'd say this first right out the gate was a resounding success, and it was funny how this movie ended up being, because the profile I stumbled on for the series was one that was actively being created as I was on their profile. So they had just been adding movies, and so they didn't even have 4 favorites, at least at the time. And so I went to, that's another thing I didn't clarify. If all the 4 favorite films are ineligible, or in this case there were no 4 favorite films, I then go to their overall list of films and sort by highest rating, and whatever one happens to be the first on that. So this is completely random that this one happened to be that, but they gave it 5 stars, and totally get it. I loved this movie, and I'm not going to go into spoilers, but I will say I'm just so glad I didn't know anything about this plot, because obviously I've heard the name, and it's been out there since 2010. Some of these movies are like, oh yeah, I know what that is instantly, whether it's like a twist or something that is just known in the zeitgeist of film. This might be one of those, but I was lucky to not know anything. And so it was very authentic the way I experienced it, and I loved how they handled it. There's so many clever bits of writing and things that hint at things along the way. Ultimately, I was amazed by the reveal at the end, and it makes for a really great thriller. Absolutely, it's really well done. Leonardo DiCaprio, as much as I've grown up with Leonardo DiCaprio, I know him, obviously. One of the most, when I was growing up, if you were to ask me to name an actor, that'd probably be one of the first ones that come to mind. Just so popular. I kind of realized I've seen very few of his films, and that's like Titanic and now Shutter Island. But a lot of the big ones that he's known for, I've seen him like Romeo plus Juliet. Like I've seen him in that, but I haven't seen him in Inception. Some of the more recent Martin Scorsese films, like Wolf of Wall Street. A lot of the big ones he's known for, I haven't seen. So that's definitely an actor I'd like to clean up some of their filmography. And I'm having fun. As you can see, if you check out my profile, I've been watching a lot of movies, and I'm really looking forward to talking about them all in full. Each month I've started to do a ranking video here on the channel where I'll rank the videos I watched in the previous month, but it's really just an excuse to talk about all of them, the good and the bad, but mostly I like talking about what I enjoy. So there's a good amount of ones that I've really enjoyed from just this past month alone, and Shutter Island is no exception. Really, I'm thrilled with that because that's a perfect example of, yeah, it's a film I've heard of, but not one that was anywhere on my list. Like of all the Leonardo DiCaprio films, this is probably the last one of just the few that I named that I was even have considered. So glad that I got to it. But now, here's where the river meets the rub. All right, we're gonna get our next movie assigned. But as I said, it's the most recent movie I reviewed is where I go to. So Until Dawn, we just right before recording this we recorded our review for it on Tarquaron, Tarquaron. Probably I'm not sure if it's up yet or not. Probably not. But for the purposes of this series, I always go by the one that I've made a review for on Letterboxd most recently. So that's why I'm going to Rustin. And whatever one comes up, the most recent user that reviewed it, that's what we'll go with. Rustin, I actually enjoyed. I only gave it 3 stars, but I really appreciated it. It shed some light on an individual I didn't know anything about previously. Holman Domingo is great in it. Just overall, it's not like the most remarkable biopic ever, but it's solid. I enjoyed it more than I didn't. Recent reviews. This one's from TM Court. Overall, this wasn't the best biopic I've ever seen. I don't usually read it, but overall, this wasn't the best biopic I've ever seen. I wish I got some different direction/writing. Regardless, I did find this enjoyable due to how phenomenal Holman Domingo is to watch and how important Bayard Rustin is and his key role in the civil rights movement. His story is so important and integral in American history, not just within civil rights, but also his activism for gay rights and human rights. We need in every community a group of angelic troublemakers. Well, I completely agree with that review. It's like lockstep with how I feel about it. So it's promising. TM Court, the ball's in your court. You're a pro. Oh, we're dealing with a pro here. Favorite films. Okay, Parasite I have seen. So we move on to Stand By Me. Stand By Me I have not seen. This would be a good one. 1986. Stand By Me. Let's see if it's available. Okay, Stand By Me is available to watch on Max. So that's it. Sometimes it is just that simple. Stand By Me with an average of 4.2 stars on Letterboxd. This is one I've always heard people talk about as well. And I love this because it's an 80s movie. I feel like I need to brush up on a lot of my 80s movies for sure. And this is one I just, frankly, I've never seen. So here's the description. After learning that a boy their age has been accidentally killed near their rural homes, 4 Oregon boys decide to go see the body. On the way, Gordy, Vern, Chris, and Teddy encounter a mean junk man and a marsh full of leeches as they also learn more about one another and their very different home lives. Just a lark at first, the boys' adventure evolves into a defining event in their lives. It's one of those wild things, too. These are all kids in this movie, and now it's 39 years later. So, damn. Okay. Absolutely. Fantastic. I do want to go back because shout out The Bubble. I don't know what The Bubble is, but they watched The Bubble. Not very good, I guess. But Sinners. TM Court, shout out to you. Also watched The Sinners. Some good movies. Interestingly, I was going to say Everything Everywhere All at Once. They only just watched a couple weeks ago, and it's in their favorite films. That's the thing with people's favorite films too. Some people do it differently. It could be just their 4 favorite films overall, or their 4 favorite films they've watched recently. People do different themes and whatnot. But yeah, Parasite and Everything Everywhere All at Once I had seen. So it was between Stand By Me and the Grand Budapest Hotel. So that's another one I've heard of that I should check out too. But Stand By Me, that's going to be it. So shout out to you, TM Court. Even if you don't know it, you just decided what movie I'm going to watch. And again, I will reiterate that it's not like necessarily it will be the next movie I watch. It's just the next movie I watch for this series. So I actually watched several movies between the last episode and when I watched Shutter Island. So it's just once I watch it, and then once I have time to do a video on it, I'll be able to talk about it and go on to the next one. So just always teeing up the next. And yeah, there it is. While we're here, should we take a quick look at their profile? Let's see. Their favorite movies. Let's see. Okay, cool. All right, so there's some ones I like in here, and then some ones I've been meaning to see as well. Little Women has been on my list for some time, as one that people always talk about. Big Daddy, it's been years since I've seen that. I love The Truman Show, love Parasite, love Spirited Away. Howl's Moving Castle, I think was decent. Booksmart was decent. Spider-Man, I still have to see that too. As well as You Got Mail, When Harry Met Sally, and The Devil Wears Prada, and The Green Mile. I have to see all those. Rogue One, I enjoy as well. This is a nice little mix. Nice mix. All right, shout out to TM Court. I feel like they have, it's as always, is a snapshot. Just a snapshot into their movie digest. But I feel like they have a similar taste as me. Like, we're pretty lockstep. I didn't read their review, but 5 stars for Sinners. Absolutely, that's great. Rustin, 3 stars. We're right in line with that. Some of those favorite movies are great. So there it is. So come back whenever the next episode, next installment is. I'll be talking about Stand By Me. And so, yeah, it's fun. You know, you never know when you're going to get it. It could be a week from now. It could be a month from now. It could be 3 months from now. It won't be 3 months from now. But, you know, we're playing fast and loose with it because I've also got other videos coming out on the channel. And, yeah, going to be talking about everything on this channel, from movies to TV to reality TV. And every month I'll do a ranking of the movies I watched for the first time in the previous month. And I'll be highlighting different things I'm enjoying in general. Yeah, and if you want more from me, I also have a video game channel where I talk about video games, Zach Archer Games. And I have a music channel called Zach Archer. And I have a collaborative channel where we talk about movies, TV, video games, and a variety of content called Tarkaron, Tarqaron. And as always, there's a link in the description to my link tree, which has all of this, plus my Letterboxd and all my tracking and social media and all that. So please follow me on Letterboxd. I'm always looking for more people to engage with there. And thank you for watching. Until next time.